Before we start off with today's episode, make sure to check out the Fuku store below and use the discount code for 20% off your entire purchase. Fuku.xyz. Be bold. Be you. What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this week's premiere where I will be in the chat and you guys will be in the chat. And today we're going to be looking at G-Idol, where I heard that they want to change the name from G-Idol to just Idol because there is no boy version of the group anymore, which I think is actually a very smart idea if they do that. The G doesn't really do anything for me at the moment because I just don't know if there is a B-Idol, if that's even what it is called. Either way, today we're going to be looking at the behind the scenes of Tomboy, and I really thought this MV was more or less quite interesting to look at. It's full of special effects, very nicely filmed together and put together and edited together. And one thing that I think is interesting, so I was just looking up the numbers, and what I realized is with these behind the scenes videos, which I think is a big shame, it is only like less than 1% of the entire amount of people that actually watch the full MV of Tomboy come and look at this video. It's such a small percentage. It's such a shame. I wish there were more people that were actually dedicated to looking at this part of the video as well, because not only as, you know, for me, you know, being a filmmaker, I also just think it's interesting to see a little bit more what goes on behind the sets, learn a little bit more about the groups, but it seems like not a lot of people are interested in it. It's interesting. Like, I would love to know why people do not look at these type of videos. Like, what do you guys think? Put it in the chat. I would love to read your thoughts to that as well. I would just say, let's start with the videos. It's going to be 2 clips because they split it up for some apparent reason. I really don't get why actually, but they split it up in 2 sections, and I would just say, let's have a look at the video. Alrighty, let's see what we can pick up from the behind the scenes. Ooh. Is it me or is it just really loud? I can't really say. Okay, before we actually start, I think this is really clever. I think more K-pop groups should actually have such an intro. There are still too many people who are just unfamiliar with the names. I mean, look at me. I still don't know who Minnie is or Miyeon. Who else is there? We saw Yuki, we saw Soyun, Shuyua. I don't even know how to pronounce their names, but look, the point is, it's just a very nice way of educating the people who the group is actually made out of. Alrighty, let's get into it. You can actually just see from the start how small these sets actually are. You know, they really just want to be efficient. I mean, you can see the walls here. It's just like cardboard that they put together, put some wallpaper on it, and boom, you got a sleeping room. Really clever, really like it, really efficient, but yet again, it's still fake. And also what's kind of cool here on the sides, I don't know if you can see that, but it's very dark, and it shows how dark these studios actually are. But with this window here, they just made a big light, a spotlight aiming at this window here with a little bit of a warm tint to it, you know, to make it look as if it was the sun. Clever, you know, it gives the room the needed touch to make it look more realistic and sell it better. Okay, let's go forward a bit. Wait, is there actually English subtitles? Come on, oh, there we go.
제가 첫 번째로 찍는 거 다들 아니까 언니 화이팅하고 미연이도 내일 잘 찍으라고 말했어요. 마지막으로 자기 전에 조금 걱정을 많이 했어요. 왜냐면 잘 나올 것 같은데 제가 잘 했는지 모르겠어요. 근데 열심히 찍어봤습니다. 에너지를 굉장히 많이 썼고 사이코패스 같이 해야 되는데.
I like it. I like it actually that there's a bit like, you know, a Q&A going on while they're preparing everything in the background. I mean, I'm also focusing on what's actually happening on the background. I mean, they're still preparing, you know, the set a little bit, you know, the details. Really cool. You know, it shows how many people are needed to build up a set like this. You might think that 2 people can do this. And of course, 2 people could do it. But on a set, you really have just 20 people running around at least, you know, to make sure that everything is running. So... What is that cut the entire time? Is it my computer? Let me see. How weird. I don't know if that's YouTube though, but I get these random cuts as if it doesn't want to load. Weird. Yeah, the room was really pink. But the one thing that I noticed about this room is that, again, she's wearing a very, very contrasting piece of clothing, you know, the black. It's really just like everything looks super bright in the room while she's wearing, you know, these gothic type of clothes, these gothic colors, which is really cool. It's a very nice contrast.
어지러울 것 같아요. 마음에 드는 거는 이 기타 너무 귀여워요. 내가 기타를 아직 못 치지만 나 배우고 싶어. 아니 배우다가 말았어. 어려워가지고. 좋았어요. 총을 어떻게 쏴요? 잘 모르겠어요. 총 쏴는 거 배우고 올 걸.
A very good exercise if you want to, you know, learn how to play with a prop, by the way, is actually to bring the people to a location where they can just shoot. You know, the gun has a very unique backfire that is just special. I remember when I was watching some of the behind the scenes from Lord of the Rings, and I forgot the actors and who was involved, but the idea was that they were thinking about how can we, for example, make it look as if someone is actually stabbed in the back, you know, like how does it actually feel? A lot of people would say in Hollywood, you know, the person should scream in agony, but in reality, what someone said is like, have you ever been stabbed in the back? And he says no, but the guy responded, I have been. And what happens is you actually just release all your air, and you don't know what's going on, but you do not scream like a crazy lunatic. So some small exercises like this would be great, you know, for a gun. Just go to a gun, what do you call it, a gun range, I think it's called, you know, where you can just practice shooting around. Do that. It's just a little bit helpful, you know, and it gets you a little bit of motion. I mean, with the stabbing, it was just pure accidental, so don't do that. Don't practice getting stabbed, but at least practice with a gun if you're allowed to within the country. I can imagine there are some gun ranges as well in Korea. The one thing that I didn't like about the prop when I looked at the video, but I didn't mention it, is that it looks like plastic. It really just looks like a cheap plastic mold. And I don't know, it doesn't sell it to me as a gun. And especially the way she's flinging it around at the moment, it really just looks as if it's really just plastic. And a gun has real weight to it, you know. Maybe they could have gone with a matte color, you know, something to give it a little bit more of a punch. But yeah, the candy plastic red doesn't really do it for me. You can just see how big that green screen room is. You know, they built this inside of it. Amazing.
잘 나오길 바래요.
You can see more or less the same construction here again. They had it much simpler, luckily, purely because they only have to have the walls with barely any props inside of it except for the chair. And then they had, I can only imagine, you know, like real artists to come in and actually spray paint and put all the markings on the wall. I like this. This is actually like an artistic little room, you know, like someone could just do what they wanted in their creative mindset, which I really, really like. And I like the chair in the middle as well. It's again, very focused. Again, beautiful angle here from the top. Man, the technology these days, especially with these cranes, is just fantastic. You can really just do anything you want and make the camera come from any angle. It's, you know, we live in an era where we should actually just be thankful how a lot of things are just mechanicalized. You know, a lot of elements you can just do with a simple push of a button. That's amazing.
네, 너무 세트 너무 멋있어요. 뭔가 너무 무서워. 뭔가 화장실? 옛날에
Wait, that's supposed to be a prison cell? Like, really, that doesn't look like a prison at all.
학원 화장실인가? 학원 화장실인가? 낙서를 저렇게 해놨어요. 학원 폭파 버튼 이런 거 진짜 많았어요. 폭발 버튼. 그래서 맨날 저거 누르면 학원 폭발 시킬 수 있는 다들.
Wait, and now it's supposed to be like a bathroom with scribbles on it. I'm a little bit confused why she mentioned that with the prison, but maybe that's because it's very confined, very tight.
맨날 눌렀어요. 갈 때마다 모든 학원생들이 한 번씩 이렇게 눌러봤을 거예요. Why are you cranky boy? 뭘 그리 찡그려나? Do you wanna bump Barbie doll? It's not your, I'm not a doll.
I actually just noticed the prop that she was holding as well here. That is the, let me go back. She's like holding like a mirror. Where's the mirror? Come on, show me the mirror. Here, this mirror. Maybe it could have been cooler if they just used like a piece of broken mirror, maybe, you know, something that fits the room. Like, this is just so girly all of a sudden. I think this is great. Like, it's safe. Like, don't get me wrong, and it also fits again to the G Idol or the Idol group. Great, you know. But maybe to fit the room, they could have just had something attached, like broken glass or broken mirror pieces, you know, attached to a handle, and she could have used that, you know, to show a little bit of roughness to it. Actually, that's funny. In the background, you see the Idol logo without the G. Maybe it's officially confirmed that G Idol is over.
느와르고 싶어요. 여기가 느와르. 그거 아세요? 제가 진짜 이번 앨범을 정말 너무 많이 신경을 써서 제가 정말 1년 동안
She prepared 1 year for it. 1 year for one video. It shows how much time goes into making these elements. A lot of people still underestimate how long it takes to make videos like this.
이 5명을 처음 봤다고 생각했을 때 뭐를 입었을까? 뭐를 불렀을까? 라고 생각을 먼저 했던 것 같아요. 그렇게 해서 나온 노래인 것 같아요. 개인적으로 킬링은 제가 생각 킬링 파트 슈아가 맡은 그 라라라라라라 거기 이거 쓰면서 아 이거 킬링이다. 이 파트 진짜 킬링이다. 라라라라라라. 어제 내일 아침
I really forgot the song already. I'll be honest. I don't remember it at all.
우기 손톱 봤어 이러시는 거예요. 그래서
That's, I think, one of the biggest shames, actually, of a lot of K-pop songs. Like, I'm trying to get into a lot of groups, but it's really hard to memorize songs unless you hear the beat. Like, at the moment, she's singing it, but I just don't hear the na la 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 part. Like, I don't know where that even comes up.
네, 아니 확인을 못해서.
Like, do you guys know when it comes up? Like, are you aware of the part or not?
제가 이번에 귀엽게 해도 된다고 하긴 했어요. 손톱을. 근데 이제 저의 기준 귀엽게랑 걔 기준에 귀엽게 손톱이 달랐던 저는 이제 키치하고 귀엽다라기보다는 근데 걔는 초등학생처럼
There's a lot of insights, by the way, you know? A lot of insights on what's happening. Also, you can hear that when the director starts talking, she just like looks like, okay, what's she saying? Is it for me? Do I have to go?
근데 걔는 초등학생처럼 뭐 토끼 이런 거
You see? It basically shows that a director has, at the end of the day, all the say. Even though you're the celebrity, the director is the one that tells you. If you have to be on set, you better be there. They're not going to wait for you. They're the one running the entire show. They're basically like the director of the entire program. The manager, the one who takes all the care and management of all the timings and everything.
오늘 바꿔오라고 해서 바꿨을
Oh yeah, look.
제가 시간 찾아놨어.
Get ready, get ready.
그걸 바꾸라 했어. 봐. 색깔 빨개요. 우리 다 이거 있어요.
Maybe this is actually cool. I didn't know that. I think lollipops do make your tongue red, A, because of the dye that they normally have, but also because you suck on them. Like, that's actually really clever to make people do that, especially if you to show your tongue, because a tongue is generally not that pleasant to look at, you know, unless you try to make it look good. And making it red is attractive. Well, if it looks blue or whatever color your tongue is, you know, because every tongue is a bit different, maybe a little bit purple. This is really clever to make it red. Clever, clever. Also fits the entire aesthetics of the red.
헤어 클리너예요. 부담스럽더라고요. 저희가 이렇게 매령해야 돼가지고 굉장히 좋은 사탕 중에서 아마 제가 활동할 때 오늘 이거 쓸 것 같아요.
Very cool. You see, this is why I watch these videos. You know, like for now in my head, I'll have it like, you need a red tongue. I don't know whenever I need it. Let them suck a lollipop that's red as well. Really, really clever.
여러분, 사실 여러분 이게 내 에피소드 있어요. 제가 원래는 이렇게 하기로 했거든요. 난 슈아 때문에 이렇게 바꿔야 되는 이유가 있어요. 여러분. 자, 이거 되죠? 슈아, 고! 얘가 이거 안 돼요. 이렇게 얘가 나와요. 어떡하죠? 이거 유치원이 어쩔 수 없어요. 나는 엄지 옷 내미면 이렇게 거꾸로 되거든. 봐봐, 이거 완전 유전이에요.
Wow, they look very much the same. I mean, my thumb really just makes a 90-degree turn. Well, literally, it's really clever what they're doing here. You know, depending on who is doing what part, it shows that everyone just has a different, you know, physique when it comes to how they are built as a person. And it's true, when some people do this, some people just cannot put their middle fingers. Like, it's not that they cannot control it, it's just how their bodies are built. They just have one fingers, you know, like this. Or I know another one where people like drink a bottle of beer. They have to have their thumb out, or sorry, their pinky is just sticking out. I don't understand that. Like, I don't have that, but it's how people are, you know, it's a habit, and it's very hard to unlearn those habits. But in Germany, it's very often to just see people like this, even though it should be like this. Bit of a weird one, but this is funny. My thumb, like I say, does a 90-degree turn. Well, did they both? Yeah, more or less. I think my thumbs are broken.
그리고
Really broken.
나 진짜 안 돼.
I can do the same. What a... Oh, this is crazy. It's so cool though. Like I forgot that I can even do it, but she's really just making me think. But it's like you bend your bones within each other. It's really, yeah, like this. It hurts. I have a feeling you can snap your finger like that.
나 진짜 안 돼.
Yeah, I'm tomboy. Yeah, I'll be the tomboy. This is my attitude. Yeah, I'll be the tomboy.
I just noticed as well, man, their skirts are really, really low. Like, they're not even skirts anymore, you know? They're literally like, I don't even know what it is, like mini skirts. That's really low. Like, you could see that this is pure sexualization, while the other ones are wearing pants. Like, this, I think it just doesn't even make it sexy. It just looks like they went a little bit too far with it. Like, what do you guys actually think about it?
This is my attitude. Yeah, I'll be the tomboy.
아직 에피소드 있어요. 저희 손톱이 귀여운 거였는데 너무 귀여워서 오늘 아침에 박았어요. 네, 소연 씨극 전화 왔어요. 우기야, 저거 좀 아니지 않냐?
I like this type of video. It's actually much nicer than what I saw in the past. It's actually full of stories. Cool. Like, why do people not watch it? Why do they only focus on the MV? Why not look at this element as well? Maybe they just don't care. Could be it as well.
네, 그 기념 사진 찍었습니다. 나 찾아야지. 야, 왜? 잘 나왔어. 좋아. 가도가.
You can also just see that these stars, they're so trained in knowing how to take photos. I mean, these photos will go on Instagram or somewhere like that. But it's fantastic. I would love to take one of these courses once, just to see like what is a good pose, you know, to walk like a superstar, you know, take photos like a superstar. Would be very interesting. Like, I bet there is like an entire, I know there is a schooling behind it, but I just wasn't aware that you can actually do it. Or where to do it, sorry.
아니 지금 문어처럼 나와. 저 아니야. 아니다고 빨리. 장난이야. 미연이 뭐 어떻게 찍어도 예쁘지 뭐.
It looks good.
네, 미쳤어요.
나 안 찍었어.
아니, 사진 잘 찍었다고. 잘 찍을게.
나 더 잘 찍을 수 있어.
진짜?
근데 별로 안 찍고 싶어.
And you can even just hear the music still in the background of the song. Again, it's all about the repetition. It's all about, you know, it's all about just making sure that people are still in the mood for the song as well. Make sure what's happening.
화사가. 절대 안 찍어줘 이제. 제주도에서 그 사진 하나도 올리지 마. 사람이 한 번에 여러분 감사하는 마음을.
I really enjoy this video. It's more like watching a blog, which is just so nice. I mean, yeah, from a video standpoint, there's not a lot of elements going on at the moment, but you can see some things in the background, like these moving green screens, moving blue screens. Actually, it's kind of cool. Like here, can you guys see it? It's behind me. While here, you basically have one of both. You know, you have a blue screen here and a green screen over here. It's nice.
뮤비를 찍어야 되는데.
I really like the choreography. It's very snappy to the beat, which is nice.
Just
Again, we have that massive crane. I have a feeling that a lot of... Is this... No, this isn't SM... I forgot. Is Idol from SM Entertainment? I totally forgot. But either way, it seems like more or less all the production companies are using the same equipment. I mean, we're more or less seeing the same over and over again from all the different behind the scenes that we see. And that's quite normal. They tend to all work together. I mean, these production companies must be earning a lot of money, you know, if they have every 2 weeks a different video to shoot. Amazing. It's just a cycle of money that's happening non-stop.
오랜만에 춤췄어요. 발차기. 발차기. 발차기? 너무 힘들어. 신발도 무거워. 괜찮아. 근데 진짜.
Now they're watching it in the background again to see if it was good or not. Actually, I'm amazed that they don't watch it. Maybe they do, but they're just not filming it. But it would be nice to see if they actually do. To see how they can improve themselves again. Because you can hear in the background, they are replaying it non-stop.
혼자. 이 세상은 혼자야. 인생이 혼자야.
알아서 일어나.
그래, 알아서 일어날 수 있어. 화이팅! 화이팅! 연기한다, 연기. 뭐야? 마이클 잭슨이야?
That's a massive red room. I always wonder what they use actually to make it this red, but in some theories I heard that as paper, they're basically using as a wall the paper, of course, because paper is more or less cheap and it's very easy to get rid of. And on the floor they must be using some sort of latex or a cloth, something that is the same color of red. What do you guys think? How do you think these elements are made? Like, I would love to know it as well, because man, it's just so red. It's beautiful. Again, very contrasting as well, the black to the red. It's really good. Composition, perfect. Color composition, of course.
세상에 제일 예쁜 사람.盛世美颜. 근데 진짜 예쁜 거는 딱 미연美颜.
I forgot the girl's name here, isn't it? I don't even want to guess it. Forget what I was about to say. I just want to say that I like her a lot. She has a lot of, like, you know, she's just going to talk. You know, she's just going to do and say what's in her mind. I like that. I bet at the party, she's the one that talks to everyone and connects everyone at the party. That's how it comes over.
美는 beautiful, 얘는 얼굴.
매.
그래서盛世
나 그냥
美颜.
그렇게 태어난 거네. 아니
편집.
맞잖아. 제발.
편집 잘해.
The Neverland.
V 하고 난리 났어.
I like it. Man, look at those air conditionings even in the background, or heaters. It could be either or, but it's good actually to have heaters and coolers in there, just because you want to control the humidity. I remember being in Korea. I don't know how it is during the winter times, but if it's very humid there as well, like during the current times, then it's just crap. You know, it can destroy all the paper, all the materials inside, and you want to control the air. The stuff is just way too expensive to lay around in an uncontrolled room. So really cool. Man, you can also see the big fans they have, you know, ready in case they want to put wind in their faces and everything. Look how big they are. Just massive units.
아까 조용히 했는데 지금 너무 시끄러워졌어. 너무 에너지 다들 좋은 것 같아.
네.
That was day one, I guess, no? Oh, they actually continue. Again, the lollipop, another prop.
아니요, 저 면허 없어서 나중에 멋지게 이 차를 가지고 하겠습니다. 화이팅.
Wait, did she just drop the lollipop? Hold up. Let's look at her hand. Look at the lollipop. I think she drops it accidentally. I know, she actually held it. Okay, I take that back. Yeah, the one part that I don't like about this entire set is just that the car was not moving in any way. It just was a little bit of a too safe element, and I get they were going for like a driving scene because they have some, you know, they got the fans here blowing the wind. I like that. You know, at least they're including wind, but they could have just maybe put it on a trailer and filmed from there. Like, what do you guys think about it? Do you prefer when it was real or not? I mean, there were enough K-pop videos where they have real cars, when they're actually moving on a trailer, of course. Or do you prefer it when it's static? Like, do you see a difference or not? I would like to hear your feedback on that.
저 모니터 못 보겠어요. 너무 부끄러워서 못 보겠어요. 저도 계속 아니 계속 따라해. 그래서 저 모니터 못 하겠어요. 오기야. 나 집에 갈게. 안녕 오기.
You know, good for them. You know, at least they're having fun. Man, I'm going to say this is maybe one of my more preferred ways of behind the scenes, because you're getting a little bit of a look into their lives as well, you know, how they're doing as a group together, because I think that communication, that relationship is very important. Man, maybe other people should do it like this as well. Like, you know, there are two types of MVs that I like. You know, the ones that either go in detailed into, you know, into the groups or into the soloists, or the ones that actually go a little bit more into the mechanics of how they shoot, where they shoot, and trying to really just showcase how cool their video is. Both ways are cool. I would just say let's get into part 2 and see how it continues. Man, that intro is super loud.
안녕. 네 봐봐. 뮤비를 잘 봤니?
카메라 떼고 한번.
나 아직 못 봤어. 어떻게 나올까?
Man, I would not want to be in a Korean. I'm just looking at the numbers. I would not want to be in a Korean cinema. I wouldn't know how to read these lines. I bet you really just have to look. Like, I bet this is like ABC, of course, you know, ABC and then your chair number, like they have 720 here. Weird number, but it looks a bit confusing. Okay, we're getting an introduction again to the members. Okay, it's Yuki that I really like. That's the girl. The one that starts the party. Good attitude.
안녕하세요.
Kind of cool. You can see how big, like literally how big these diffusers are. And a diffuser is nothing more than a piece of cloth blocking in the light to make it spread a little bit nicer. I have a diffuser on this light, for example. It makes the light a little bit less harsh on my skin, while this one is more higher, but it's a little bit stronger. I don't know if you can see it, but maybe you can see that this one is just spread much nicer, while this one is not. Just checking as well on my camera to see if I can see it as well. But I can see it a little bit.
왜 자꾸 저만 찍어?
She just looks tired, to be honest.
나도 찍었어.
아 여기 나만 바라보셨는데.
아니야. 나 그 뜨거운 시선을 느꼈는데. 어머나. 지켜봐요. 저도 이제 26살이에요. 언니 처음 회사 들어왔을 때 몇 살이야? 우리
그런 거 기억하세요?
Did someone's computer just turn off? What?
들어왔을 때 몇 살이야? 우리
그런 거 기억하세요?
그래.
What a weird sound effect to put onto a video. I mean, literally, I thought a computer went out.
2살인데. 그때도 그 마냥
그래
어리지
마냥 어리지 않았네.
그래서 크게 큰 차이는 없어.
Look at them even setting up all the cameras, the lighting again in the background,
내년에는 후반이라서.
아 지금 후반인가?
making sure that everything is ready.
중반이지.
Again, we have a tube light, super bright. Can you just imagine that camera like slides off the slider? Like it's basically on tubes to move it forward and backward. Like, can you just imagine it slides off and hits her on the face? Like, you know, that looks really painful. I know it will never happen because there's too many locking mechanisms on these rigs, which is good. But I just imagine, like, man, that's such a heavy unit.
1 9분 비율. 아이 그거 정한 거야. 초반은 1, 2, 3, 4, 중반 25, 26, 27, 후반 28, 29.
미안해 안 들었어. 너무 복잡해요 그냥.
Oh, damn it. I forgot to turn on the subtitles. Okay, there we go.
여러분 제 패션 보여줄게요. 일단 이거 내려야 돼요. 이만큼 내려야 돼요.
근데
내리고
올리세요.
왜 그래 갑자기?
여기도 원래 언니들한테 안돼.
저 아무도 노트 안 했어. 나 그냥 이렇게 내려서.
안돼 이미지 안.
Again, we have a massive spotlight again as well in the background, you know, creating depth, creating a little bit of a dramatic scene as well. Nice. Oh man, I love that. Okay, now we actually get some equipment here. At least the equipment that I like. I love gimbals. I like these kind of shots. You can see the monitor up here basically, so he can monitor everything that he's filming. A little bit weird because the person he's looking at is behind. Also, it's a little bit dangerous because if I know cinemas, they normally have stairs. So I'm wondering how someone is helping it. It would be nice if someone could help him. But man, that's very narrow. Like, that's actually challenging. I mean, you can already see like the guy with the light here. I mean, you guys can only see the light here, but it's all so narrow that the light man even has to be behind him. And they're just using this still as a good opportunity. Actually, this is really cool to see where you can see that light source, you know, the tube lighting. You can more or less see it here. He's off the screen, of course, here. But what I like about it is that you can see how it illuminates the body basically everywhere, you know, all the way from the bottom up to the body at the top of her head, which is the point of it. That's why you want one of those lights.
여러분 티켓 받으세요. 1,000,000원 주세요.
Would be maybe nice if they gave these elements away, these props away as a, I don't know, maybe as a giveaway to like fans or something. I mean, what are they going to do at the end of the day anyway? You know, it's meaningless to a lot of these people working within the industry, so it doesn't really do anything. You know, like, why not just give it away to the fans? That's what I would do.
아이들의 콘서트 올래? 그래? 또 와. 또 와. 한 잔밖에 없어. 야, 또 와라. 티켓. 한 잔밖에 없는 티켓. 가지고 싶어요. 이리 와.
Hold up, guys. I want to check something. So I'm looking to go to a concert, okay? I want to know who's... yeah, look. So let me put it on the screen quickly, okay? Can I put it there? Hello? 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 Oh, God damn it. Why doesn't it want to go there? So I'm thinking to go to a concert in Frankfurt. Ah, damn it. I clicked the video. Wait. No. Does it save where it was? No, it didn't. Oh, my God. But anyway, here. There we go. So... this was their MV. I can click that away. But I'm thinking to actually go to the concert because they're also performing there. And I'm thinking, should I go to check out G-Idol or not, guys? What do you think? I'm actually saying I'm sold on the topic. I still didn't buy tickets yet because I need to know that I'm available during this time. But I'll plan literally, I think, within the next week or two to plan there. I mean, look, you got Monster X, you got IVE, you got Idol, G-Idol, funny enough, still here, One Us, Mamamoo, and Kai. I'm really looking forward to Kai for some reason. I don't know why, but I think he's going to be a really good performer. What do you guys think? Should I go? Should I not go? I think I should. No, I mean, I should spoil myself as well. Alrighty, back to this.
가지고 싶어요.
By the way, these props can be really worth a lot, you know, in the future because they are only one of a one and they produce them specially for this MV. And also, if not, like, I could be wrong here, of course, you know, but it could be that the cinema produces these because there's a ticket machine and they can put in any of the information they want. So it has a barcode, the name and everything. It could also just be something as a custom-made piece of paper, but it would be cool if the machine made it themselves and it also just put some value to it, you know? Oh, God. Now that I'm looking at it. Guys, should I go? Should I not go? Tell me. I need to know.
오면 해봐.
가지러 와. 가지러 와요.
I forgot this location. What is this? It looks so different. Like, why is it white here, red there? Let's have a look.
전혀 무섭지 않죠. 저는 강하니까. 가사 그대로인 것 같아요. 미친 여자의 느낌으로. 근데 제가 진짜 사실 미치지 않았거든요. 정말 제정도 똑바로 박혀있는.
I love it, even using an iPhone for lighting. I mean, why not? A light is a light, you know? Okay, so that was really just behind the scenes. It was none of the locations that I saw, none of the sets. That's good at least. Hey, it's Yuki. Yuki, yes, of course, has to be the one with the loud mouth. You know, she has to show that she's there. You can literally see she was a little bit annoyed. Like, it was just too much, especially if you just finished filming, you're just tired, you're warm, you're wearing these clothes. It's just hot. Ah. But I think that's okay. You know, they're a group, they should get through it together.
미안아 동작 좀 써줘. 아 크게 동작 손. 네.
제대로 도움이 잘 안 됐어요. 아니, 거짓말이고요. 장난이고요. 너무 고마워요. 솔직히 이런 시간에 이제 뮤비 촬영 이틀 동안 하니까.
You see, it's still about the idea, even though you might be look a little bit annoyed or be a little bit annoyed, you know, either or. But it's still nice that if someone shows up to support you, you know, it is just so meaningful. And I know that feeling as well. Like, if there's a project and you're all alone, and then all of a sudden, you know, like this hand comes out, you know, not to help you directly, but to at least show that they're on your side and they support what you do, it just means the world, you know, and it really just puts a shine to everything. So really good from her.
때는 자고 그러잖아요. 근데 또 나와갖고 봐주고 또 디렉도 해주고 응원해주니까 진짜 고맙죠. 이게 쉬운 일이 아니에요. 저도 이제 다른 멤버 촬영할 때 실컷 자다가 이렇게 나오는 게 진짜 쉽지 않은 걸 알고.
It really just shows a lot, you know. Man, that's what I like about this type of the MV. Sorry, behind the scenes, not an MV. If this was an MV, that would be a super long MV. But it's just nice because it actually just shows so much more of the group that you would never see in an MV or read anywhere. You know, it's nice.
저 딱 보자마자 라사타 같은데. 네. 딱 마지막 분무 시 야외에서 그리고 밤에 야외.
Is she wearing a jacket upside, like the wrong way around? Looks a bit like a penguin in the background.
못해요. 무슨 상관이에요?
You can even just see how big the monitors are, you know, all connected. Everyone needs to have a look at what's happening. It's just really well set up. I've never seen that amount of monitors, like at least 2 of these big monitors to make sure that they can see what's happening. I saw it at least never on any set, but that's nice. I think the more the better. You know, if everyone can watch, it's nice to see how everything just rolls out, even from the lighting technicians all the way to the, you know, the set technicians, just in case something fails or something doesn't work as it should. It's nice that people can monitor it.
왜 2월 밤에 야외
Oh, they're shooting this outside, actually. Yeah, mini skirts. Why? Because of sexualization? Or not? I don't know. I like the music in the background. I just want to, you know, bang my head to it. Man, that must be so cool, though. Like, literally, I know that it might look like as if this is useful, you know, with the tent and blocking the wind, but it's still so cold.
혹시 춤을 못 추면 추워서 그런 거고 저희가 연습 안 하는 게 아니라 추워서 미리 말씀드리겠습니다.
I really like the music playing in the background. I don't know what it is. Maybe someone can make an MV about that. Like, that would be nice. You know, a bit of happy music.
진짜 라타타 지금 더 추운 거 같아. 라타타 첫 번째 뮤비 때 이 둘이요. 첫 번째 씬 3시간 딜레이 했어요. 야, 노래 너무
It's very normal. What did they say? I think she said when shooting. One sec. These 2 guys delayed the first scene for 3 hours. In all honesty, delayed scenes is very, very normal. There's just too many elements that are rubbing against each other where anything can just disrupt the other. You know, like if one gear is taken out, the entire construction, the entire process is just stopped. And that's quite normal. The longest I waited ever when I was filming a project, and that was for Mercedes-Benz, I had to wait 6 hours. Like, we were planning to shoot like at 12. At the end of the day, we shot like at 5 or 6 o'clock in the nighttime. I was really tired, sitting in the sun, sitting in the car. It was really, really boring. And there was just nothing to do, you know, and everyone was just on standby. I don't even remember what we were waiting for. I think a photographer was just taking photos, and he really fell in love with making photos. And I don't know, like the guy directly said, yeah, you can take the time. But at a certain time, we would just said, you know, like, hey, what is actually happening, you know? And they finally came and we did it. I mean, I was really patient. I mean, with 6 hours, I was super patient.
우리 골프 칠 때
I really like the song. Do 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 do.
근데 우리 진짜 라타타 찍고 뮤비한테 트라우마 생겼거든요. 근데 점점 지금 없어져요.
Holy shit! They're actually bringing the heater with. Like, holy, that's the heating. Oh, that's so cool. They're actually bringing the heater with. I mean, look, that is passionate, you know, like, I bet they don't have to do it, but it's nice that they are doing it. It's cold.
네, 아티스트분들 조 감독님 위치까지 갈게요.
Man, I can imagine how cold it is. So professional. I know that I watched a video already on the topic of, you know, whether it is too much sexualization or not, but in my eyes, I still think it's amazing that these girls can really just knock this out of the park. So many people would complain. And then I'm thinking, is this bad? Is this not bad? I think this is actually okay. This is just the industry. They're there to perform and they're performing. And at the end of the day, guys, they're getting paid a lot. It's not as if they're just doing this for free. That's one thing that we have to remember. I mean, if someone even paid me $100 to stand there in my underwear, most likely I would do it. Because what am I thinking? It's only like 2-3 minutes of standing in the cold. And the rest is, you know, there's with a heater, you know, there are jackets. Not that bad, no? Really cool. Actually, that was nice to see what we saw there. I don't know if you guys can see it. So you have the camera more or less here and you have two guys holding these bars. Again, it's all about the illumination, getting rid of shadows. I know there's also lights in the background pointing at them, which is totally cool, but this just helps a little bit more with bringing the light a little bit closer. The closer you're to the light source, the more it gets rid of those shadows, and really nice. And it's also nice how they're actually following the camera. So this is really well coordinated. You know, the camera goes forward, goes backward, they both go away. They're really owning it though. Damn, that kick. I cannot do a kick. I tried it. I cannot do this. Bang.
예쁘면 됐어. 네. 예쁘면 됐어. 네. 슈아 원래 우리 팀에서 추위 제일 안 타는 사람이거든요. 진짜. 네.
And that's one more thing, you know, it's so difficult. I'm not going to say difficult. It's always a challenge, you know, to make sure that whatever you're filming has to look good on camera, you know, and when you have people that need to try to look sexy, and, you know, sometimes I would say it's like a 50-50 game. The cameraman and whoever is directing it is responsible to make sure that it looks good on camera, and I just hit a SD card on my table. But it's also just important that even though the person is acting silly on camera, you still try to get the best side, you know, to still use it as material. While the other person still has to be professional and try to get the best shots. But overdoing it, I think sometimes is just a little bit cringy, because sometimes people don't know how to look sexy. So therefore, try to get a course. Try to really find where you're comfortable. You have to look comfortable in front of the camera, because it's also really hard to film people who are very stiff on certain topics, you know, so... But I like it. They're very comfortable in what they're doing. Even if it's silly, I bet they can get some great shots from it.
언니 참 사진 좋아. 사진 찍고 있는 거? 아 왜냐면 지금 안 찍으면 이따가 못 찍어요 이거.
Really cool with all the posters. I didn't even pay attention to that. That's really nice. They really went out of their way here, actually.
너무 추워.
I really hope they're gonna show the explosion of the car, because I don't know if the car really exploded or not though. You can also see, again, you guys cannot see it, but I see a little bit of a smoke machine in the background. It's a very thick smoke that comes out of it that causes this big thick mist. I like that a lot. Man, people are freezing. A little bit of a tip, by the way, if you're cold, try to heat up your hands first, because the blood basically goes back warm, you know, into your entire body. Forget the rest. Hands are very important. That's why if you're cold and you're a little bit too warm on your body, you know, just wear gloves. It really helps. At least that's what I learned. I'm not only talking about being on set. It's just something I also learned with cooling down my body. Just hold ice, for example, or put cold water on your hands. It cools down your entire body. It's really, really helpful. You don't have to dip into the water fully. You know, you can just really use your hands or your feet. Actually, both is best, but I think taking off your shoes and your socks is a little bit awkward in public. So if you can, just do your hands. I love this tube, man. I still need to get one. I actually looked up the price. It goes for around $700. Like literally $700. It's so expensive. Great. Look at the cameraman here. Look at that. Let's have a little bit of a... Where was that? Where's the cameraman? There we go. You can literally see what's happening here. It comes a little bit more clearer in a second. Here, for example, you can see that the one guy is just helping and steering the cameraman while you have the two other people who have the lights. It's just so important that everyone is coordinated. It looks silly, but do it. Forget the silliness. Be proud of what you're doing. It's so important. So many things that happen on set just look shit, to be honest, you know, when you look at it from the street perspective. But when the results are there, it's really just next level. Forget the cringiness, you know, like I say, don't focus on what you see on set. Focus what you're trying to film through the camera. And that's from both sides, of course. Meaning from both sides, you have to look at what the actors are doing, in this case, the G-Idol group, and what the cameraman is doing. Forget this, the idea of feeling uncomfortable. It's all going to be good. You know, it's about teamwork. I bet they went into a hotel after this. I can only imagine they went into a hotel after this and took a nice big bath. And that's what I would do. Literally 1 day, sorry, 2 days for 1 year of planning. Crazy. That's intense. But they must feel so happy now. And now the editors have to go out and edit everything together. But normally what happens is that on day one, they will have the footage. They already start editing. On day two, they'll get the rest of it and stick it all together. There's more or less a plan. There's normally a storybook where they have certain frames already proposed and what the scenes will look like. So it's more or less, you know, choose the best elements from different scenes, stick them in there, done. When I say done, it still takes a long time to make sure that everything is correctly, you know? My next project, by the way, is going to be kind of cool. Like, I'll make it a behind-the-scenes video. I already told my people on Patreon that I would do it on Patreon. I'm actually uploading more and more behind-the-scenes of things that I'm doing. But I'm going to have a 1-day shoot for a company soon. And then I'll have a 2-day shoot for the same company, but just a little bit more intense. And I'm really excited to do that, actually, because there's going to be a bit of role play. It's about, you know, getting everything sorted. I'm really excited for it. I really like how detailed this just is as a behind the scenes. These girls really remind me of when I was working at a Korean agency, and the people were just as hyper as this. I loved it. Everything was just over the top crazy, which was cool.
좋아.
Like literally, what's with her? Like she always have to show that she's there, no?
아이들 야
I really like this entire behind the scenes. I mean, people on Discord, thank you for sharing this with me. If you haven't joined the Discord, please do. I'll throw the link into the chat. I really hope you enjoy these type of videos. For me, they're so satisfying because it's not just watching an MV. It's more like you're watching the continuation of the MV, you know, like really what's going behind it and what's the story behind it. You're learning more than what the internet is telling me. A lot of people tell me like, hey, do you research before you watch an MV? That's cool. But I prefer to watch an MV and try to figure out the story prior to me researching it. I still believe the visuals are very, very important to actually making sure that people understand what's happening in MV. You know, some K-pop videos just don't even have subtitles. So what am I supposed to do? I can research it. Why not just let the visuals do their job? And a lot of good MVs, a lot of K-pop MVs that do it good, make sure that it is just visually understanding. And with this MV, they really made sure that it was understandable from actually the first 30 seconds. You really understood the idea behind Tomboy and the MV, which I really, really liked. I mean, guys, what do you actually think of the MV? Did you like it? Did you not? Did you like the behind the scenes or did you not? I would like to hear your opinion as well. If you haven't yet, make sure you hit that like button. And like I say, every time I hit this mic stand, I'm going to put a €1 into the jar and I'll already put €2 into it. So it's going to be €3 now. But I just want to say thank you all for being there. I'm just going to leave the chat open for a couple of minutes longer so that we can have more or less a good talk and see what we enjoyed, what we did not enjoy. But what do you actually think about the mini skirts topic? I thought these mini skirts are shorter than I ever saw in any production. I mean, they're literally nearly to the bikini line, you know, like that's how short they actually were. I mean, I don't have a problem with it in all honesty. I just think it's also just like, why? And most likely, like I say, there's a big fan base out there that likes this, you know. It's quite normal that normally when I review female groups, the biggest audience there is actually men. When I review male groups, the biggest audience is female. Quite understanding, I would say, no? I just wanted to point it out. I can also see it by my analytics and the people that review or watch my reviews. I really like it. Really enjoyed to see that split, but I also see that the feedback is very different. Normally, people are very protective over the female groups, you know, maybe because they think that the females are vulnerable. I'll be honest, I think these girls are much tougher than what we think. They're going to be much tougher than a lot of the people that watch their MVs because what they're doing is still very extraordinary. They just trained for this. They're trained to do the stuff that a lot of people like us cannot do because we are not brought up in that world, you know, to just go into the cold, start filming and do your acting, you know, we're just not trained for it. So guys, I just want to say thank you very much for watching. I'll leave the chat open. I'll see you in the chat. And like I said, make sure to check out the Patreon. Make sure to join the Discord. Make sure you hit the like button and make sure to be there on the next video. I'll catch you then, guys, and have a safe one.